Hello, coming to you from Wet Hair Don't Care. I've tried to do this video a number of times and can't get it to work, so I'm trying a new software. This is called Veed. I wanted to share with you today how I use ChatGPT. It's a lot of talk about AI and replacing writers and, taking over people's jobs. And I'm kind of mixed. I mean, I feel like when photography came out, artists thought they would be obsolete. So a lot of people are saying AI won't replace people, but it will replace people who don't use AI. So I thought I'd do a quick video about how I've been using AI and see if it resonates with you. One of the background things about me, if you don't know, I'm a public speaker and I also write blog posts and content and articles. And I have written a book as well called The Reluctant Creative, which I didn't use any AI for. But the other thing about me is that I have ADHD. So it can be really hard for me to make my thoughts into a progression that makes sense to other people. So this is one of the ways I use ChatGPT. So I'll just walk you through how I did my latest blog post and let me know what you think. So hopefully you can read this a little bit. I wonder if I can zoom in a bit because it's a little small. Yeah. So what I asked it to do was I gave it a little bit of background. I said, write a blog post for me. Don't like, if you're like my husband, he rolled his eyes. He's like, well, he's going to write, they're going to write it for you. I'm like, just wait and see. So I asked it to write a blog post for me. I gave it some background on what the things are that I wanted to include and what the point of the blog post was. So I did that. And then they gave me an article that was pretty good. There was an introduction, section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. It was so boring, so boring. I mean, I can see why people don't like AI for this type of reason. Like, finally, it is important to find a balance between work and life. Like, I would never say that, even though I did say write in the style of Caroline Brookfield. I guess I'm not famous enough for it to know my style yet. So I have to do this pretty much every time I try to write something in ChatGPT, add some humor and some examples or stories. So it did some of that, and it's kept the same sections, which is, remember, the goal of me using this tool is for organization. Um, did you hear the one about the accountant who tried to come up with a creative solution to a problem? Yeah, me neither. Okay, I mean, that is kind of funny. Doesn't make sense in this article. It's certainly not something I would say because my whole thing is that everybody is creative. But nice try, Chat GPT. I'm going to call it, what am I going to call it? Chat GPT. Chatty? Gappy? Gappy. Thanks, Gappy. And then, but if you notice, so they did change it up quite a bit. Did you ever play that game where everyone had to share something embarrassing? Remember how scary it was to open up and share something personal? That's actually kind of the way I write. And then, but notice this. I think they don't know a lot about jokes. Like, remember when you used to have hobbies? Yeah, me neither. It's basically the same format it used up here in this other section. So while this was a great starting place, I would never copy and paste it. Some people would, I guess. I mean, it was fine. It's more interesting than the first one. But then it said, I thought, well, give me 3 ways to engage, just playing. This to me, it's all about playing and spaghetti against the wall. Can you add 3 ways to engage or express creativity at work? Absolutely. Here are 3 ways. Brainstorming, collaboration, experimentation, like ho hum. So I was like, of course, those are obvious. Be more specific. And there's nothing worse than I hate PS than reading an article and wasting my time. And it's like, 3 things you can do, brainstorm. Like, what a waste of my time. So I wanted to be more specific. And so it basically took those same categories. Brainstorming went to mind mapping. And then instead of collaborate, it said taking breaks and then embracing diversity, which is not actually very specific. So, but that's better. And I was like, okay, a little bit of an eye roll and a disapproving cluck. I was like, well, what's a specific way? And it really didn't get that specific. It's basically the same thing that it was doing before. So I kind of gave up on that track. And then I took the framework of what it gave me and the ideas, and then I wrote my own blog post and took some elements of the things it did, but certainly didn't copy and paste the article. And then I had this great idea for a title for section 3, which on psychological safety. And I was like, creativity puts the psycho in psychological safety or something like that. I was like, can you find me a different title? So it gave me some other titles, which are, again, super boring. The role of psychological safety in unlocking your team's creative potential. I don't know about you, but that's boring. That's not what I would write. So again, make it funnier, Gappy. So here's some funnier titles. And I kind of like this one, Creativity Without the Crazy. I kind of like that. How to Stop Your Workplace from Being a Horror Show. So it gave some good ideas, from psycho to creative genius. Like, that's not even what I'm talking about. But I use this as a creative muse. My husband doesn't like talking to me about this stuff. Sometimes I have friends who will brainstorm with me, but it's a tedious process. And so Gappy, or ChatGPT, is a really good way to explore ideas without worrying about somebody else's opinion. Like, I don't care if Gappy or ChatGPT thinks that my idea about being a psycho is a bad idea. So it allows me to explore creative thoughts and ideas without feeling like there's any judgment behind it. So then I wrote my article, and then I actually took the article and copied it back into ChatGPT. One of the things I use especially for ChatGPT is I think of it like a Google Translator for Google. So if you're writing content or blog articles or something that you want people to see, ChatGPT can tell you like your keywords, your meta tags, your descriptions, and give you some ideas on how to make sure your content is more reachable to the people who want to read it. So I asked it to comment on the flow and readability, which it can do, give specific suggestions on SEO and searchability on Google. And just like I want people to read it on LinkedIn. Like, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not like a AI expert on directions. So I copied my blog post in that I had written with the framework, and then it told me it had a good flow, it's easy to read, thank you, and then it gave me some suggestions, add more specific keywords, and gave me the examples, links, external sources, stuff that you kind of know. Like, but I could have gone in here and said, like, give me some external sources that would be good to link, and it might have given me some. Always check, because sometimes it's like weird stuff. Uh, and then it says, suggestions to make it more likely to be read. Start the article with a catchy and attention-grabbing introduction to hook read. Well, you helped me write this article, Gappy. So give me an example of a catchy introduction or title. And it gave me this: unlock your creative potential, overcoming barriers to innovation in the workplace. Like, Gappy, have we not just been sitting together for half an hour talking about this article? This is not what I would put. So make it catchier and compare it to something you don't normally bring to the office. So my idea was like, a lot of people say they're creative at home and then they're not in the office. So I was like, what's something you bring to the office that I could play with? Like, bringing your lunchbox to work. Like, if you forget, like, do you forget your lunch on the counter every day? Like, you forget your creativity. I was trying to like noodle a little bit on those ideas. So I thought, why not get Gappy to help me? So I put that into Gappy, into ChatGPT, and it talked about zebra, bringing a zebra to the office. Yes, you do not usually bring a zebra to work. So that wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I wanted to. So I said, make it more about creativity at home versus at work. So how to unleash your inner creative genius. Okay, so boring again, Gappy, come on, more like the zebra example. And then it said, how about this? Unleashing your inner zebra, why embracing creative chaos at home can make you more productive at work. That's not what I was going for, but I kind of like where they're going with it better, but remove the bit about chaos. And I'm trying to tell them what I want, more about bringing more of your authentic self to the workplace. And then they came up with, from wild to work, embrace your inner zebra and bring your creative self to the office. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Gappy. I don't know that I actually use this exact title, but one of the reasons I like to get titles from ChatGPT is because it's often if I tell them to think about the SEO and the readability and what catches people attention, that's what it knows about. So, and then it gave me a little summary. So if you want to read it, it's my blog for April. You'll probably find it on my website, or you can send me a note if you want to read it. In this article, we explore how you can bring the creativity and authenticity you embody at home to your professional life. Just like the zebra's unique stripes, clever, you have a distinct set of qualities that make you stand out. By embracing these traits and incorporating them into your work, you can bring a new level of innovation and authenticity to your role. Let's explore how you can unleash your inner zebra in the workplace. Like, that is actually really, really good. It's a really good summary of my article. But if you want the full meal deal of how you can use ChatGPT in what I feel is a way that's authentic and personal to me, where I don't feel like ChatGPT is writing the article for me, but with my ADHD, it helps to organize my thoughts. I can explore unusual and weird creative ideas without fear of judgment and without feeling like I'm occupying, a colleague or friend's time for too long. And also to make sure that it's indexed, or SEO ideas, and to make sure it's in a format that will be shared by the Googles. Hope you enjoyed this.